Today we will revise something from English grammar for class 6. The name of the chapter is tenses. That means we will be revising present, past and future tense today. So, before that, we have to know about tense. So, what is tense? Tense is a form of verb that indicates time or a state of an action and event. Clear? There are some points which are related to tense. Please follow the points. First one, it expresses time reference. It means tense is a category that expresses time reference. Next point. Tenses are shown by using different forms of verbs. That means tenses can be identified by using different forms of verbs. Next point. It is derived from the Latin word tempus. That means the word tense comes from the Latin word tempus, which means time. Now, we will be talking about the types of tenses. So, students, you all know that there are three types of tenses. The first one is present tense. What is present tense? The present tense is a grammatical tense whose main function is to locate a situation or event in the present time. Let us go through the example. What is the example over here? Her watch keeps good time. This is falling under present tense because this activity is related to the present time. Here we have added s with the verb. The verb is keep. We have done this because the subject, that means her watch, is third person singular number. So students, we can classify present tense into four categories. What is the first one? The first one is simple present tense. What is that? A simple present tense denotes an action in the present time or habitual truth or eternal truth. Let us go through the example. The weather is very nice today, and you can follow that. This is an affirmative sentence. Okay, so this is an example of simple present tense. You can see that we have used the present form of the main verb be, and the action is related to present time. So now we will see that how to make it negative sentence. So what is the negative one? The negative one is the weather is not very nice today. You can easily understand that we have changed the previous affirmative sentence into negative one, and the action is related to the present time, and we have added not after the main verb. And students, we will revise the chapter affirmative and negative sentence after this portion. So there you will clearly understand these points. Next type is present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is used when an action is continued or going to be continued in near future. Clear? Let us go through the example. He is writing articles on different topics. This sentence is falling under present continuous tense. This is expressing a temporary action which may not be actually happening at the time of speaking. In this sentence, we have used the word is as a helping verb and we have added ing with the main verb right. And you can follow that this is an affirmative sentence. Next one, is he writing articles on different topics? And you can easily understand that this is an interrogative sentence and we have just turned this affirmative sentence into the interrogative one. We have used the helping verb first, then subject, then main verb plus ing, and then the rest of the portions. Now we will talk about present perfect tense. So what is that? Present perfect tense is used when the work has been done but its effect lasts. Let us go through the example. She has finished her homework, and you can see that this is an affirmative sentence and this is indicating completed activities in the immediate past. We have used has as a helping verb and past participle form of the verb finished. Now we will turn this sentence into interrogative one. What is that? Has she finished her homework? This same sentence has been turned into interrogative from affirmative, what we have discussed now, and this is falling under present perfect tense. Now we will talk about past tense. What is past tense? The past tense is a grammatical tense whose function is to place an action or situation in the past time. Let us see the example. Angela watched TV all night. In this sentence, we have used the past form of the main verb watch. So, it will be an example of past tense. So, we all know that we can classify past tense into four categories. What is the first type? The first type is simple past tense. Simple past tense or past indefinite tense is used to denote an action completed in the past or past habit. Let us go through the example. The rain stopped at 9 p.m. In this sentence, the simple past is used to indicate an action completed in the past. So, we have used the past form of the verb stop and it is an example of simple past tense. Next one is, did the rain not stop at 9 p.m.? And you can follow that this is an example of negative interrogative sentence which has been turned from the affirmative one and this is related to simple past tense. Now we will be talking about the second type, that is past continuous tense. Past continuous tense is used when the action was continued in the past. Example, she was watching television last night. This is an affirmative sentence and in this sentence, past continuous tense is used to denote an action going on at some time in the past. And we have used was as a helping verb and we have added ing with the main verb watch. Next one, was she watching television last night? This has been transformed into interrogative sentence from the previous affirmative one and this is related to the past continuous tense. Next, past perfect tense. What is that? Past perfect tense is used in the former action between two completed actions of the past and simple past is used in the latter action. Example, she had read different kinds of books before you came. If two action happens in the past, it may be necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other. Past perfect is mainly used in such situations and it will be considered as past perfect tense. Next one. She had not read different kinds of books before you came, and you can follow that this is a negative sentence which has been transformed into the negative from the affirmative one, and this is related to the past perfect tense. Now we will be talking about future tense. Future tense is a verb form that generally marks the event described by the verb as not having happened yet but expected to happen in the future. Example: he will come here on Sunday. In this sentence, we have used will as a helping verb and the base form of the verb come. Now we will be talking about simple future tense. Simple future tense is used when an action will be done or will happen in the future. Example: he will call me tomorrow. This is an example of simple future tense and we have used will as a helping verb, you know about it, and the best form of the verb call. Next, he will not call me tomorrow, and you can follow that this is a negative sentence which has been transformed into the negative from the affirmative one, and this is related to the simple future tense. The second type, future continuous tense. What is that? The future continuous tense is a verb tense that indicates that something will occur in the future and continue for an expected length of time. Example: she will be coming to visit us next week. Here we have used this tense to talk about an action in the future which is expected to happen in the normal course of things, and this is an affirmative one. What is the next one? Will she be coming to visit us next week? This sentence is related to the future continuous tense and this is an interrogative sentence. Next one. Future perfect tense. Future perfect tense is used to express an action which the speaker assumes will have completed or occurred in the future. Example: he will have graduated from the university in 2 years. Here we have used future perfect tense to talk about an action that will be completed by a certain future time. Next one. He will not have graduated from the university in 2 years. This action is related to the future perfect tense and this sentence has been turned into negative one from the affirmative sentence. Now, I will give you some homework from this chapter. Please follow the instruction first. Rewrite the following sentences, changing the verbs from affirmative to negative. Number 1. He likes to play football. Number 2. The dog barks at visitors. Next instruction. Rewrite the following sentences, changing the verbs from affirmative to interrogative. Number 1. The machine is building the wall. Number 2. The sun sets in the west. Students, follow the next instruction. Rewrite the following sentences, changing the verbs from affirmative to negative interrogative one or interrogative negative. Number 1. He smokes cigarettes. Number 2. These girls learn music every day. Now we will revise our next topic, that is affirmative and negative sentences. Okay. But before that, we have to know about what is sentence. Let's see the definition, or we will go through the definition. A combination or a group of words that gives a complete meaning, thought, or idea is called a sentence. Example: some people hunt wild animals. Here, we are able to find a group of words which is expressing an idea. So, this will be considered as a sentence. Next example: the earth revolves around the sun. You all know that this is a universal truth, and here you can follow that there are some group of words which is expressing an idea through this particular line. Now, we will be talking about affirmative sentence. What is affirmative sentence? An affirmative sentence is a sentence that affirms something to be true. Example: Sheetal was absent yesterday. In this sentence, we are getting an information which is true. So, it will be considered as an affirmative sentence. Now, we will be talking about negative sentence. A negative sentence is a sentence which states that something is not positive by nature. Example: a bear will never touch a dead body. In this sentence, you can follow one thing. We have used never after helping verb, that is will. So, it is an example of negative sentence. Now, we will be talking about how to make sentences negative. Let us go through the point 1. What is point 1? The verb be. We put not after the various forms of the verb be. Example: we are not living. In this sentence, we have used not after be verb. So, it is negative sentence. Next point. The verb has had. When have shows possession, we use no with it. Example: example is he has no bat. Okay, so you can follow that this sentence is an example of negative sentence and we have used no after the verb has. Clear? Next point: auxiliary verbs. So, when the auxiliary verb is a form of a modal verb, that is can, could, must, we use not with it. Example: she could not do her work easily. Here we have used not after the auxiliary verb could. So, it will be an example of negative sentence. Next point: verbs made up of two or more words. Okay, so what is that point? We put not after the first verb. That means if we get two verbs in a particular sentence, we always use not after the first verb, that is the helping verb. Clear? Example: I am not keeping well. In this sentence, we can follow one thing. We have used not after am. Here, am is a helping verb and keeping is main verb. Next point. Simple present tense. We use do not or does not with the first form of the verb. Example. What is the example over here? Rima does not look well. In this sentence, we have used not after do verb. So it will be considered as a negative sentence, and you can follow that just because Rima is third person singular number, we have added es with the verb do. Next point, simple past tense. What is that point? We use did not with the first form of the verb. Let us go through the example. I did not go to bed early last night. Here we have used not after did because we know that we can use did not with the first form of the verb. Next point, imperative sentence. In the cases of imperative sentence, we put do not in the beginning of the sentence. That means imperative sentences can be stated by using do not. Let us go through the example. Do not switch off the light. In this sentence, we have used do not before switch off the light. So, it will be considered as imperative sentence. Next point. A negative sentence can be written in two ways, right? That means we can write the negative sentence in two ways. Let us go through the example. They had not anything to say. And the next one is they had nothing to say. You can follow two different structures of the same sentence. In the first one, we have used had not, and in the second one, we have used nothing, but the meaning is same. Now, you can follow that. This is your worksheet page. Please follow the instruction first. Make the following affirmative sentences negative. Number 1, I shall be seeing him tomorrow. Number 2, she has got a very interesting job. He likes traveling by plane. Next instruction is make the following negative sentences affirmative. Number 1 is we did not know what he was doing. Number 2, we do not play tennis daily. Number 3, she did not get up very early this morning. So students, now we will revise our another topic, and you all know that this chapter was explained to you all like those two chapters in your previous classes. Today we will revise it again. And what is the name of the chapter? The name of the chapter is comparison of adjectives. Okay. So students, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word used to qualify a noun or pronoun. Let us go through the example. An elephant is a large animal. In this sentence, large is an adjective because it is qualifying the noun animal. So, it will be considered as an adjective. Now, we will be talking about degrees of comparison. What is that? When adjectives change in form to show comparison, they are called degrees of comparison. Clear? Now, we will be talking about the types of degrees. You all know that there are three types of degrees. Okay, and what is the first one? The first one is positive degree. So, we will know about the positive degree. A positive degree of an adjective is an adjective in its simple form. It is used to denote the mere existence of some quality of what we speak about. Let us go through the example. Shumita is a clever girl. In this sentence, we are unable to get any comparison through the word clever. So, it will be a positive degree. Now, we will be talking about the second type, comparative degree. The comparative degree of an adjective denotes a higher degree of the quality than the positive and is used when two things or sets of things are compared. Example: Shumita is cleverer than Mary. In this sentence, cleverer is an example of comparative degree because it is making a comparison between Shumita and Mary. Next degree, that is superlative degree. So what is superlative degree? The superlative degree of an adjective denotes the highest degree of quality and is used when more than two things or sets of things are compared. So what is the example over here? The example is Shumita is the cleverest of all the girls. Here, the word cleverest has been used to denote the comparison among all the girls. So, cleverest will be considered as a superlative degree. Now, we will be talking about the formation of comparative and superlative degree. Number 1. Adjectives of one syllable. Most adjectives of one syllable and some of more than one form the comparative by adding er and superlative by adding est to the positive, like bold, bolder, boldest, small, smaller, smallest. So what is the example over here? Mangoes are dearer than oranges. Next rule: positive ends in E. That means when the positive ends in E, only R and ST are added to form the comparative and superlative degree, like able, abler, ablest, wise, wiser, wisest. Example: what is the example over here? Raman is the wisest of all the boys. Next rule. Number 3. When positive is a word of one syllable and ends in a single consonant preceded by a short vowel, this consonant is doubled before adding er or est to form the comparative and superlative degree, like big, bigger, biggest, sad, sadder, saddest, etc. Example: Tom was so much bigger than his father. Next usage, that means the formation. Positive ends in y and y is preceded by a consonant. If the positive ends in y and the y is preceded by a consonant, the y is changed into I and ear and est are added to form the comparative and superlative, like dry, drier, driest. Example: Summer is the driest time of the year with low rainfall. Next rule. Number 5. Adjectives of more than two syllables. That means adjectives of more than two syllables and many of those with two form the comparative by using the adverb more with the positive and the superlative by using the adverb most with the positive. For example, like beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful, careful, more careful, most careful, etc. Example: Suchitra is more beautiful than Rima. Next formation: irregular comparisons. Some adjectives are compared irregularly, that is, comparative and superlative are not formed from the positive. For example, bad, worse, worst, good, better, best. Example: He was one of the worst kings of England. Now we will be talking about use of adjectives. Okay. Number 1. The words Superior, inferior, senior, junior, prior, anterior, posterior are always used as comparative degree, but they are followed by to instead of than. Example: she is 10 years junior to me. Next usage: double comparatives and double superlatives should not be used. Okay, let us go through the example. She is cleverer than her brother. But students, remember one thing: we cannot write like this, she is more cleverer than her brother, because in this rule we have discussed that double comparative cannot be used. Next rule. Number 3. If an adjective follows the phrase one of, it should be in the superlative degree always. Example: she is one of the best girls in our school. Next usage. Next usage is as plus positive degree plus as, or no or not plus comparative degree plus than. That means when two persons or things of the same kind or a quality are to be compared, we can like or we should like this rule over here. Clear? What is the example here? This boy is as intelligent as Shyam. Next, the superlative with most. And what is the rule over here? The superlative with most is sometimes used where there is no idea of comparison but merely a desire to indicate the possession of a quality in a very high degree. Example: it was a most eloquent speech. And students, please note one thing. Apart from this, there are some more rules in your grammar book. I have discussed some few points over here, and the other rules will be followed by you from your grammar book. So, please follow them carefully. Okay? Now, I will give you some homework from this chapter. This is your worksheet page. Follow the instruction. Write the correct form, comparative or superlative, of the adjectives given in brackets. Number 1. He is the dash friend I have. Within bracket, good. Number 2. There are two ways of doing the sum, but this one is the dash within bracket easy. Number 3. Who is the dash living poet? Within bracket great. Number 4. Name dash city in the world. Within bracket large. Number 5. Your knife is sharp, but mine is dash within bracket sharp. Follow the next instruction. Supply appropriate comparative or superlative to each of the following. Number 1. Akbar had a dash rain than Babur. Number 2. London is the dash city in the world. Number 3. Mita is the dash singer in the school. Number 4. Shakespeare is dash than any other English poet. Number 5. That means the last one. Hunger is the dash sauce. So students, you will practice from other reference books also. So now we are ending our lesson over here. Thank you.